The best leadership is invisible. The best guidance goes unseen, for it brings out the best around, like a drumbeat brings synchrony. Greetings, beloveds. This is Amy Caryn Johnson, the Earth Channel, here with you today with, I believe it's the 5th in an 8-part series about the gates of the Diamond Heart. Today's gate is the 7th, and I have chosen sandalwood to represent it. Sandalwood is considered a very sacred oil. It is usually made from the wood part of this tree, and therefore it requires cutting the wood. I know that also the Aborigines in Australia use the nuts and eat them, and I believe that would be a more sustainable way of using the sandalwood. Perhaps there could even be plenty of oil from those nuts, although I can't say for sure about that. It would certainly be something to look into. And of course, if the trees can be grown more, that's a great thing. They can be renewed, of course, by growing more. However, I've heard that the oil is often only harvested from trees that are quite old, like 40 or more years old, which makes it take longer to grow those and renew that resource. It is also used, sandalwood is also used for many wonderful purposes. So it makes it extremely valuable, and I understand why it is used continually, even if it is becoming more rare, because it is so valuable not only for health purposes, but also for sacred purposes. So without further ado, let's hear from Mother Earth about this sandalwood gate. Hello, this is Gaia. To share with you about this sandalwood gate of the Diamond Heart, we would first like to point out to you that when you look at the 7th hexagram from the I Ching, of course, which is where these gates come from, you will see that 5 out of the 6 lines of this hexagram are yin lines. It is the trigram of earth over the trigram of water. And perhaps by explaining to you the elemental identities of this hexagram and these trigrams, you will begin to understand it as being a quite feminine gate and a quite feminine energy. The water beneath the earth holds much power, much pressure, as Amy alluded to in the beginning of her poem. With springs, many of which have not been found in recent history, they can hold so much pressure for such a long time that they essentially never run dry. This is not always the case, but it is quite frequently the case. And if we further examine the feminine energy of this gate and look at the ways in which the female of the species for humans has been seen in the world and is in the world, they have first and foremost always been seen as the bearers of life. And there has usually also been, in shared understanding, consciousness, the idea that the path into this world is not so different from the path out of this world. And so yin, feminine energies, and females have often been connected with both birth and death. Many mysteries related to birth and death and the transitions in and out of this world have also been symbolized by caves, grottos, and other entrances into the earth. Some of you may understand this as shadow work. And indeed, it can be seen as such. However, for those of you who look at the quote-unquote dark side of yourselves or any one person, please begin to contemplate the possibility and the reality or probability that these are just areas that are not yet understood. Their base nature is coherent, but it is not yet coherent to you. You do not yet comprehend it. It is hidden. It is in shadow. And so this is one of the many gifts we wish to point out to you and offer you, remind you of, that by connecting with us, with the earth, you can gain a better understanding of your purpose, why you were born here, and what you came to accomplish before you pass on beyond this world again. Like the butterfly, which begins as a caterpillar, looking similar to a worm, enters a chrysalis, and temporarily becomes what you would recognize only as goo if you were to look at it before it is ready, then sprouts beautiful wings and flies. This is akin to the process needed for you to grow, for you to learn, and for you to become that which you came here to become. It is true that you're already perfect in spirit, in your eternal soul. And yet we all choose to come into this physical plane to play this game of forgetting what that essence is, of forgetting our true power, so that we can split it open and understand it even more deeply, even more intricately. The various and diverse ways in which we can come to know our true selves again, and by which we can express our true selves again. This is the gift of the Sandalwood Gate, to guide you through these types of transitions to worlds beyond this one, as well as into this world. For as above, so below. We thank you so much for joining us today. Namaste, beloveds. I really enjoyed that one. I hope you did. Thank you so much for watching, for listening, and I encourage you to please like if you did like this video, to subscribe, to leave a kind comment if you would, and click the bell button to be notified when new videos come out. I have been doing 2 videos a week most of the time. I took a break or 2 here and there for the holidays, but this week I am back to 2. Be sure to check out the message for 2022 that just came out a day or 2 ago. And check out my website where you can get readings from me as far as astrology goes, and certain ones require a birth time, but others do not. And I also offer channeled messages from Mother Earth for you as well, if you would like to connect with her on a more individual and personal basis. I wish you all the happiest of New Year's. And one other thing I wanted to mention before I give you the second half of the poem is that the 7th gate, I've been generally sharing with you the pagan holidays that these are generally associated with. This one is associated with Lughnasadh, which happens it's the next one after the June solstice, so it's at the beginning of August. Here we go. As water flows beneath the earth, holding unimagined pressures, as nuts hold the power of the tree, and more are produced as it matures.